Hey there, friendos and friendettes, this is your friendly neighborhood Omega, and today, mobile ports. Specifically, Plague Inc. So this is Plague Inc. Evolved. This is actually a mobile port of the incredibly popular iPhone, Android, and just about everything that isn't a computer game, Plague Inc., wherein you make plagues, incorporated, nah. So, game was recently ported over. It's currently on early access, went through DawnLight process. It doesn't have that many expanded features from the original tablet and iPhone version and general smartphone version. It's got a few improvements here and there. There are a little bit more you can do on the disease front. Some of the menus are a little bit more streamlined, and generally it looks a little bit better, obviously, higher resolutions. Speaking of resolutions, let's go ahead and check out the options menu. Now, this is not a game you should really worry about the options menu too much on. It's not exactly very graphically advanced, if I do say so myself. But when certain audio options, actually have 3 sliders and are doing better than most of the current other indie games that exist, and this is only a mobile port, it kind of makes me a little bit depressed. Like, look at all these options for a game that is just a mobile port. They could have not tried at all, and yet they have all these options, including rebindable keys. Well, are they rebindable? Not rebindable. Simply with alternative keys. Good enough. I like it. Not that I'll need to be concerning myself with this too much. It's not exactly that advanced. So, these are literally my first impressions. Haven't played the game at all. I've seen it played. I've played it on the iPhone version. But I kind of wanted to get right into this. Kind of just do my very, very early first impressions, because this is the kind of game that I'm gonna go a little bit evil genius on. I have my moments. Alright, so can I just pick anything? Okay, I guess I gotta start with bacteria. Kinda lame. Oh, I can unlock different plagues. Alright, that's pretty cool. So eventually, I can get up to simian virus. Can I pick that? Do I have to watch the trailer? Nah, I'll just start with bacteria. Alright. Modify genetic code? Okay, I guess I don't have genetic codes to modify with. So, I think this is an improvement over the mobile feature, the mobile game. I don't know if the genetic code feature was actually in that, but I could be wrong. Yeah, that's fine. 63.7% of people wash their hands. That's very good. All right, so we'll call this the Omega virus. No, that's redundant. So we'll call it Omega because it is the end of everything. Do you get it? Ooh, get my pun? Alright, I think I have to pick where I'm gonna start. So, what's a very good third world country that probably ain't gonna give me any problems? I was gonna say Antarctica, but, probably not a very good idea. Cuba! Let's start in Cuba. Yes. Alright. Omega has infected its first human. Weak and used to hot temperatures. Okay, must evolve using DNA point. Alright then. So, of course, if you haven't realized this yet, the purpose of the game is basically to infect all the humies, get points to evolve your disease, and wipe out all of humanity, because that is what you do as a virus, of course. Alright, so what you also want to be focusing on is, of course, you have your infectivity, your severity, and your lethality. Infectivity basically tracks how fast or how pervasive your virus can spread to other people. So you want to be keeping track of this, and you want to have high infectivity because you want it to spread as fast as possible. You want the severity to basically be how fast the affliction really gets to the people, how fast they start experiencing these symptoms. And initially you want to keep the severity fairly low, because if you don't, it becomes a lot more noticeable, and the faster that the world notices that your virus is a thing, the faster that they will, the faster that they recognize it as a threat, the faster that they will proactively attempt to create some sort of cure. So you want to try and keep severity pretty low and infectivity pretty high. Lethality you want to keep pretty much at 0 until you infect a high number of people, for a couple of reasons. The primary reason for that is that if your disease becomes lethal, then it's immediately apparent to everyone that people are dying from a disease, and more will attempt to create some sort of cure for it. So you want to be, and that also doesn't handle the fact that if people become wise to this, people start dying to the disease, you run the risk of the chance of people just dying in such high numbers that they actually outgrow the number of infected people, and so eventually you'll just kill off all the infected people, and no one will be left to spread the virus because of how many people died from it. which can happen. You can just get outpaced by that. Alright, so let's mutate how it's transmitted. Now, I like airborne, simply because I like how fast airborne plagues spread. But that's an arid climate, so we're in a warm climate, so what do we want? Can survive outside the body in fresh, warm water. Well, we're probably... Would you say we're in rural regions? I'd say we're probably in rural regions. I think Cuba is mostly rural, so we'll start with that. And as you can see up here in the top right, the disease will actually evolve and grow new little tendrils and whatnot as you evolve its characteristics. I have evolved myself. And so now we wait. So, steadily, the virus will begin infecting, well, it's at bacteria currently, but it'll start infecting new people, and progressively it'll kind of just expand exponentially as we go on. So we'll start infecting like 13 people, then we'll infect like 50, then 100, and it just keeps building and building and building until we basically infected the whole world, and the world begins dying to my evil genius, and then I will laugh. Also, as you can see these bubbles popping up, these will give you additional research. The orange ones generally just pop up in a region you have already infected. Red ones, as we'll see later if we can get that far, will actually pop up in regions that are newly infected, and will also give you DNA points. But as per that, they're a little bit less abundant. Huge controversy erupts over university debate on weather. And then you'll get these funny little news things that are kind of just like either funny little satires of the times, or they're just kind of pointless, or sometimes they're relevant to the actual spread of the disease, but most of the time they're not really relevant. If they do have anything to actually do with the spread of the disease, I'd be surprised, because nothing I've seen indicates that they are actually important, those meaningless little news broadcasts. As it's telling us here, we can, of course, zoom into the country. We can take out a little bit of information. Apparently, this is considered the entire Caribbean. It's Cuba and, I guess, Haiti and the Dominican Republic. It'll tell us a little bit about the population, how many infected, how many dead, the money they're putting toward medical research, their research ranking. This indicates that their roads are open. This indicates that their borders are open. This indicates that their harbors are open. They apparently don't have any planes, but certain countries will, as you can see with these planes zooming across the screen, and occasionally places will shut down their airports or their harbors once they become more aware of the disease. But right now, of course, we're just going to worry about infectivity, and then once people start dying, then we will get into the true fun. Also, you can track the spread of the disease with the increasing number of these little red dots, which will eventually engulf the entire country. A little bit hard to see with Cuba here, but it's starting to grow, it's starting to become a threat. Alright, so what you also want to do is worry about the abilities here. This will ensure that the pathogen can survive in certain other environments. I'm going to go ahead and... actually, I'm going to worry about transmission. This will generally increase the bacteria's resistance to certain things, but I'm not too worried about the spread just yet, so I'm going to go ahead and, I think, give it to birds so that it can expand to mainland America. Probably. I hope it'll do that, like Florida-ish. And then I'll probably go to waterborne just to make it a little bit more deadly. So, yay! So I mutated the rash symptom. I think that only... Okay, yeah, it forcibly mutates certain things eventually, which will make your disease a little bit more noticeable, so you're kind of forced against that. Yay! And of course, people are getting infected faster. Now up to the top right here, you'll also notice that there are time controls. You can, of course, pause the game, play it at normal speed, faster speed, really fast speed. I like to keep it at normal just to watch the progression of things, but it's kind of up to you. Somewhat like certain RTSs in that regard, or towers, tower defense games that allow you to speed up time. And you can basically just track the world. Nothing's really going on right now. It seems like the progression of the disease has slowed a little bit, but it's still going. It's still trucking. I think it's actually hit mainland America. Oh, nope, not yet. I'm waiting for it to expand to Florida. That's what I'm really waiting for. Once it expands to Florida, I think we'll be in a good position. But America will be able to deal with it pretty well because they've got pretty good medical status. Generally, you're going to want to start in a country that's either like third world or... And that's actually politically incorrect, so I shouldn't really refer to them as that. LDCs, you'll want to start in LDCs, or you'll want to start in, at least semi-rural countries like Cuba. Although, I guess that's still the Caribbean. I'm gonna call it Cuba, because it's mostly Cuba. And, as a result, Rusty Rig declared deadly weapon. Alright, so we spread to Central America, and of course there's a little red bubble, giving us a little bit additional. I think that might also spread the disease a little bit. I haven't noticed. Yay! I'm even better than Total Biscuit. I mean tuberculosis. Also, this might be a problem. There is constrainment of the mouse cursor, but not if you have dual monitors. As you might have noticed, well, you probably can't see it, but because my mouse doesn't appear here, but when I scroll off to the right here, my mouse just completely goes off onto the other monitor. So that might get a little bit distracting for you, but you probably won't have a problem with it. You won't really be moving back and forth between them that frequently. Alright, so we're doing pretty well on transmission. Symptoms are expanding a little bit more than I'd like, so let's check out a few of them here. Sweating also increases rates due to poor hygiene. More dangerous in cold countries. Alright then. Irritable and less productive. That's a good one to do. Might slow down research a little bit. Chance of bursting. Okay. So, again, we want to keep the severity a little bit less than the infectivity, just to keep things spreading well, and to keep the disease on a roll, but we don't want it to get a little bit too nasty. Alright, so they've started noticing it. I don't really think they're going to be putting efforts toward a cure yet as a result. They really don't start putting efforts toward a cure until either people start dying or it really starts infecting people. Now, this little infected screen actually doesn't mean that much, the infected counter, because it's really about how many people you end up killing. Alright, they're slowing the infection in the USA, so that's a bit of a problem. So that would mean that we probably want to fight it with medicine, with this anti-medicine thing, but we don't have the points for that yet. We need 3 more for that. So we're going to have to wait. I was hoping it would spread into South America first, because that would make things a little bit easier, but as it's looking, it's going to take a little bit. Not... Oh, the Caribbean started work on a cure. I think I've already been found out. Perhaps I should have started elsewhere. Looks like all of the Caribbean is pretty much infected. Let's take a look. Yep, they're 100% infected. It also looks like the disease is spread up into North America, but that's really not going to affect them that much because of their healthcare system. Bloody capitalism! Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Our healthcare system is Obamacare. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Luckily, though, no one's shut down any of their stuff. I think I should probably expand into water poisoning next. That's probably the best thing to do. Okay, we're infecting more countries, so it looks like we spread them to Guatemala? Oh, it's just calling it Central America. So does that count as... Okay, so all of this counts as Mexico. Okay, then. No, Guatemala's down there. Okay. I thought they were being a little bit geopolitically insensitive, kind of. Alright. Oh, it's really spreading in Central America there. Well, it looks like it is. It's just got a bunch of red spots. So eventually, if we get far enough, you'll be able to get to the point where you can kind of cancel out disease. It doesn't look like they're starting on a world cure yet, so they probably don't care that much about it, but they will eventually. The best thing you can do is to try to mitigate the speed at which the cure is increasing, the little percentage bar down here. But that's mostly done through canceling out research or expanding into different modes of the abilities, kind of just to increase your resistance to drugs and whatnot. Oh, please bring the disease to the UK, please. There's socialist medicine. Oh, wait, there's socialist medicine. Gosh dang it. I want to fight the socialist medicine. I don't think we're not really progressing very far, so we're not going to be able to do much. Like a bit of a version which can increase the... Ooh, rich regions particularly vulnerable. Alright, we'll hit that up. Hopefully that'll help us infect the United States and maybe the UK. If they're more vulnerable that way, then we should be okay. Abscesses. Abscesses are more noticeable. Might have a problem. This game is actually very interesting when you consider it from just maybe in a learning standpoint, because you do actually get a good bit of information out of the game. A lot of it requires a little bit of inference about what kind of diseases would affect what people, but in certain ways it does tell you, some of the symptoms do tell you what sort of regions they would affect, and how they'd be more effective over other regions. So it's kind of interesting just to see what certain impacts diseases can have on what regions, and why certain regions have developed certain diseases while other regions don't have like any existence of those, or certain people have built up immunities. Also kind of gives an idea of how fast that the world kind of fights diseases, and how virile they actually need to be in order to affect certain regions. But we got Mexico, and it looks like we're pushing it out into South America. Looks like Dominican and Haiti are going down. Alright, so Transmission, I do want to get it airborne or waterborne, but it looks like we're going to be a little bit behind on that. Insects might work a little bit, especially in hot climates. Oh, I should have started with that. I didn't look into it. Another thing, look at all your options like I didn't. It might tell you something, like insects are really good for Cuba. Bloody commies can't do anything right. Gosh darn it. Although I say that, their economy's actually picking up a little bit. Although the infected populace has slowed to a crawl. I don't think there's much I can do about that. Oh! Well, I've already evolved that. Increases effectiveness in wealthy countries. Creates biotic shell, protects against all climates. Okay, that might help it spread to some of the more arid climates. That just gives it generally a little bit more survivability, which will be nice. Because I do want to start infecting, like, this region of the world. Otherwise, we're kind of just confined to this little space over here, and I'm ballsing around. But it looks like we got an infected line going from Central America to the UK. Oh, and it looks like it's expanding much more rapidly since I increased that climate affection. Oh yeah, you can see the spread coming in like right there. It's getting big. It's getting pox. Hopefully, eventually, this will infect like 50 million people, because then I think I get up to like, I don't know, Black Plague levels of infection. No one's gonna die yet until I put some sort of like lethal symptoms in yet, which I haven't. Although it's spread to France, that's pretty good. World menu contains useful data about stuff like the world. Oh, it looks like we did spread into the US and Canada, good. And we're moving from Britain into France, and we've apparently spread into that region of South America, which always escapes me. What is this area? Argentina. Argentina. Also, I'm losing out on all these chances. I need to grab these more. Oh, and it looks like we spread to China. Okay, then. We are getting more pervasive, I think. And we've hit 50 million! Yay! We hit 50 million, guys. We did it. It's all thanks to you, subs. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. I don't know. I'm making a joke about YouTube. Shut up. I'm more infectious than HIV. That's what my mom always told me. Shut up. Okay, transmission. Transmission or abilities. I think I'll make it a little bit more resistant, so... Cold climate seems to help because then it spreads into cold areas faster, so it can get into Russia, Canada, Finland, all these areas much faster if I do it. As well as Iceland up here. So I think I'll go ahead with that. Canada seems to be doing pretty well. Mexico and Central America are just dead. Well, they're not dead, but they're infected very pervasively. Also looks like Australia's not doing too hot at the moment. Britain's still hanging on. Too much to my chagrin. But they will get theirs. Tosh sods. Alright. Did I not involve this? Oh, that's right, I opted for that. Alright, so let's give the shell again. And our little bacterias forming little hairs. I'm still waiting for the point at which I can just annihilate. Oh no, antibiotics. No, and the cure. It's at 1%. I'm sick of the cure. Oh god, I didn't even notice. There are also moments where you can kind of just stop noticing the fact because it happens so rapidly of how fast areas get infected. Argentina's just gone now. No one's dead, but it's gone. And that's 57 million people that are just... Oh god, and Colombia's also getting demolished. Also, I don't think that's all Colombia, by the way. I get that you can't have that many countries, but I'm just saying... I don't think that entire region is Colombia. Also, I think we just spread to Spain. Yes, we did. Wonderful. And we've spread to the Middle East. That'll sort out those Zionists. Well, who cares, Mexico? You ain't that hot. You ain't Randy Newman. Plane transmission. Well, we're not getting that far with planes, so we should probably do that a little bit more. I want to see more plane transmission. Because planes are much more... expedient with their rate of infection than are most areas. Although there's like nothing coming into Brazil, so Brazil's going to be like completely immune to this for the opening period here. I think once I start infecting people, the mad genius will start kicking in. Oh, but Britain's losing it. That's good. And the semi-arid climates of the rest of the world. Yes! Breed, my disease! Breed! So we're coming back just about a minute in. I actually cut recording there just to see if I could get a little bit further. Turns out, I added a few little modifications to my disease, and suddenly I've infected 1/3 of the entire populace of the planet. And you can see how fast it's spreading at this point. I haven't increased the speed at all. This is just how fast it starts moving, and it's wonderful. Oh, the glorious darkness of this disease. Alright, so we gotta stay away from making it a little bit more dangerous, and we'll move into making it harder to cure, because they're actually kind of moving along with the research at this point, and I'm not happy with that. But it was kind of inevitable that they would be, so not really that impressed. Also, I think Kazakhstan just kind of lost itself. It's not really the greatest country in the world anymore. It's kind of just dead. I mostly got stuff that would affect arid climates and high-density urban areas, so I don't really know why these areas are being affected and not, say, Europe. But they're dying, and all of America is infected, so that's pretty good. Looks like we've infected about 60% of the world's populace with the Omega virus, which means let's get a little bit more dangerous up in ya. Let's evolve some more stuff to keep it away from being treatable and spread. And oh god, Russia and Siberia are going down. Oh yes, my lovely disease. Kill them all. Oh, that's so wonderful. You know, I think this kind of has some sort of brimming social commentary about it, about man's desire to destroy the world. But I've kind of lost it, and I don't really know how to describe it in a very acute way. So we're just gonna say, la 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 la, I can destroy humanity with the click of buttons. I kind of want to make it a little bit more pervasive, though. I mean, it's almost infected the entire planet, but I do kind of want to, like, make it go here, like Central America, Central Africa even. I'm bad. Oh no, it's placed on the World Health Order watch list. A little bit late for that, friendos. I'm just saying, I kind of did infect all your dudes. I'm trying to fight the cure. Alright. Let's make it just a little bit worse. Especially in urban regions. Yes. Make it a little bit worse. Spain leading. Alright, so we need to look for little cure bubbles that'll pop up, like that one, and we can stop the cure. It kind of just slows the rate a little bit, it doesn't completely stop it, but anything you can do to stymie it is preferable. Which is nice, considering I want to wipe out the world now. I might need to move this into hot climates, but I don't think it's really a problem. What is this? Pathogen affects multiple organs and tissue, body-wide infections that spread fast, it can be fatal. Fatal tumor growth. Let's evolve into that. And then I'll evolve into there, I think. Internal hemorrhaging is nice, but, you know, we don't need people bleeding everywhere. It's just, it's unsanitary. It's icky. We don't need that. Oh, we got our first death, which is immediately preceded by many, many, many more deaths. Paralysis? What? Paralysis? What? Coma. Oh, I can put people in comas. Yes! And then they can wake up, and then everyone will be zombies, and I'll make lots of money because I'll publish a series on AMC. It's satire. Not really. All the airports are closed, looks like. Oh, nope. Australia's still being dinguses. They've got their airports open. Good job, Australia. Yay! High levels of bird migration. Which means might be good to grab that. Just to infect the last areas that haven't been infected. Although at this point, I'm not killing that many people, but I am kind of infecting the entire world, so. But the death toll's reaching up to 7 million, so we just need not that many more points. Yay, extreme bird migration, which means that all of the world will be infected, although that's like 5% that's not infected, so. Also, they're starting to work for the cure, which is bad. Pathogen, significantly harder to cure and can be lethal. Random blackouts and fits reduce the patient's ability to function independently. I do kind of want these, so I'm going to evolve into them. Oh wait, does it already give me that? Sweet. So now people will be less inclined to actually fight. And the cure would die. I didn't like the cure anyway, they're not very good. I don't really like their music. Oh wait, I'm sorry if you're a Cure fan, I'm just... I've infected the world! There is no hope, puny humans. Give yourselves up to the Omega virus. You cannot help yourselves. You cannot do it. Alright, so we're back again, pretty much at a juncture where I'm going to lose, but I've pretty much annihilated all of the world. And I mutated the coma symptoms, so pretty much people are going to start falling into comas. But at this point, it really doesn't matter because they're almost finished with the cure, and pretty much I've only killed about a quarter of a billion people. Which isn't that much, that's like 1/24th of the entire species. So I didn't get very far. I originally thought in watching some people play this game that it was just a fluke. That they could actually... Not that it was just a fluke, that it wasn't just a fluke that they could beat it. That it was just this easy and no one would have trouble with it, but it turns out I was wrong, and basically the game is actually a little bit more difficult. You have to be a little bit more tactical with your planning, and I was not, and they're about to finish the cure, and it sucks. So, cure's done. And it's being deployed worldwide. People are getting healthy. No. I wish I kind of showed the clearing up process a little bit better. It's not that exactly evident. I mean, it's happening, but it's slower than I would expect. Anyway. Well, it doesn't really matter if severe storms strike Iraq, so we'll just exit out of this real quick. You've pretty much seen what this game is about. You probably should have by this point. It's a very pervasive game. So this game is currently $15 on Steam. It is early access. If it looks like something you'd be interested in, go for it. Personally, I am having a good deal of fun with it, and the fact that it has all of the different mutagens for you to unlock, and the different attributes you can apply to those different mutagens, just to make them a little bit more deadly, or to have them spread in different ways, the tactical interface that it has, it's all pretty seamless, and it does feel very good to kill humanity, even if you don't manage it your first time around like I did, because I made poor choices. Anyway, playing tactically for the death of humanity, folks. I'll see you next time.